2021. 2021
is here.
Episode of the year, and we nailed that. Like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We nailed it.
Well, it took a year.
Hi. Welcome to Uncut and Unleashed, first episode of 2021 with your host, Giovanna Burgess-White, and my co-host,
Yvette Valdenegro. Hola.
You guys, we have a jam-packed episode. We have so much to talk about, so many things happening. We haven't been on in 2 weeks. Okay, we took a week off, so we were on 2 weeks ago. And so much has happened in 2 weeks, right?
Like a lifetime ago, to be honest. No, seriously, that's not even like a thing. It's like it really does seem like a lifetime ago. A lot of great things have happened.
So I'm checking all the channels. We're live on all the channels. Yes, yes, and yes. Love it.
And while you're checking channels, first I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for listening, watching. Number one, Giovanna runs and operates Mia Bella Houston. I own and operate Pop-Up Wedding Houston. And then together we're doing major collaborations. One of them, all of the weddings that we do together, and this podcast, Uncut and Unleashed, and Just Engaged University, which we'll be talking about. And you might kind of notice if you're watching the beautiful rebranding that went on in the past couple weeks. Kudos to
our design team.
Yeah, the big firm, the big design firm. Yeah.
GBW Brands, thank you so much for redesigning.
Hey, you can just make it seem
like
we get this big design firm behind us.
Totally. Thank you to our amazing design team. Also, in the news, we revamped, added some more chapters to the ebook that was originally published in 2019. Now we're republishing it in 2021. So that is another piece of our news. So new ebook. And guess what Yvette and I are doing? You want to guess?
I don't even know what Yvette and I are doing.
Should we tell them? Everybody gets the ebook for free this month. Yeah. Everybody gets it for free. So if you've already purchased it before, you've already gotten it before, just re-email us, go to the website, go to justengageuniversity.com. It's free. I'll send you the download. You guys don't want to miss out. Like, it's a million times better, not because it wasn't good the first time, but we've literally had so much happen in a year. And with the times, the book has changed. And so now you guys can get it for free.
Yes. Okay. So where do they get it?
JustEngageUniversity.com. I'll put it in the notes right here because that was we started with the special announcement because I'm so excited. So I'm going to change that right now. Free ebook for everybody.
Okay, so you might be listening going, why do these two ding-dongs always give away things for free? Why are they always doing these giveaways, period? Okay, I just want to say for the book, both of us, bottom line, after doing weddings, after being alive in this world, fully believe in building solid relationships and marriages. We both have, experience in that. Obviously, our age, one of us being older, but we really we love love. We love relationships. We love the couples that we've gotten to know, and we just want to give them resources and tools. Those chapters kind of give you the introduction and a building block to start asking yourself questions in marriage and relationships. By the time you're done reading the book, unless you are angelic and an angel and perfect and have no issues whatsoever and know how to communicate completely, perfectly, and your relationship should really be the center of attention for all of the world, then at least there should be one thing that you get out of that book that the two of you can now start working on, changing, growing, and developing for the rest of your life. But more than likely, to be honest, full disclosure, when you read it, there's probably going to be more than that. Yeah. So prepare yourself in a good way, because it's a great tool, resource to kind of open up some doors and go, gosh, never thought of that. Or maybe I've thought of it, but from a different perspective. And then it just kind of leaps you into progressing forward. And if you would like to join our month memberships, to come on board and take the classes, which go into more depth of what you're getting in the book.
Yep. I love it. So much that everything that we just talked about on justengageuniversity.com. You can find us there. Let us know what you think of the website. Also rebranded. It's just so much fun. So
By our design team.
Yes, by our amazing design team. I do want to go into Bridal Extravaganza because that was also the first show in a year, the first in-person show in a year. Yvette and I and my amazing team, y'all, I mean, 6 Bridal Extravaganza later. Thank God, my team was amazing. Quick shout out to the team before we go into Bridal.
Yes, please.
Syra from Mia Bella Houston, Nick, also now on the team with Mia Bella Houston. Keep It Blooming Floral. Kathy got the #1 likes from our booth. Keep It Blooming Floral nailed it. I'll put some pictures up. Actually, they're already up on our Facebook, but I'll keep on posting. Aztec Linens, Elise, great job on picking out linens with Yvette because I wasn't there and they looked amazing. A little something to remember. Pamela brought some amazing furniture. And then Maureen with White Orchid Bakery, she was also hot because her cakes are amazing. Her design concepts are amazing. Michelle and Corey with Red Rock Visual. And we weren't with our other 2 partners, but Jackson's Brew, oh my God, their whole setup was amazing. They're one of our preferred vendors. They were at the show, and then LG Event Pro always putting on an amazing show at the show. So we were just so excited. Like, I'm a nerd. I love Bridal Extravaganza. It's crucial to my business. I love meeting couples in person. Like, people are like, Gio, what's wrong with you? I just love it. From the design concept to even the setup and the breakdown, like all of it is just like, it's like adrenaline. It's in my DNA. So yeah, I was a little nervous. Like, we all were nervous, right? First expo, COVID's still around, George R. Brown Convention Center. I brought Yvette with me.
She dragged me.
I didn't drag her. Oh, and she had fun. I have tons of videos of her like
She dragged me.
Talking to clients. So don't think.
Listen, because I'm all about education and talking and all that kind of stuff. But I have to say, I come from a different perspective. I remember it from years ago, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter about that. But I'm a wedding planner and I walk in and I go, this is overwhelming and confusing. And that's the only part about it, that it's like rows and rows and rows and rows of brides and their families being, literally bombarded with tons of information. So that's my only thing to that. But I do love the fact that they, especially now, that all of the people that went got to actually meet someone face to face. And I did hear that a couple times from the brides that we were talking to. They're like, it's just because some of them actually, I would say, if you have any questions, come back to the booth and ask. I'm here. You might as well just use the resource. And so they did. And so it was nice just to answer questions one-on-one, like an actual person that it's, 3 feet in front of you. So that was really nice. So definitely. And there was really, one thing I really did like, there's new venues that are out there that I'd never heard of before. So I'm like, wow, this is great to see the new venues and new people that are sprouting up in the Houston area. So yes. And I did have fun because you always make everything so fun. So my attitude completely changed when I walk in the door and I saw the beautiful booth and I got to start meeting people and talking about weddings. And yes, I get all excited.
I mean, it was fantastic. And look, so I want to explain to everybody because look, I know, I get it. Like, this is Uncut and Unleashed. We're real and raw. And I saw some people throw some shade. It's okay. I get it. Like, some people are just not ready to go into larger gatherings. But if you're already hosting events, you can't say that, oh my God, I can't believe you guys did Bridal Extravaganza. Huge shout out to the team at Bridal Extravaganza for just the logistics, the planning. They use a new app called Bride Scan. Everything was contactless, y'all. Everything. I want to set the picture in your head. It is more dangerous to go to HEB and to go to Costco than it was to go to the Bridal Extravaganza. We were spread out. Everybody got temperature checked. Everybody got scanned. Everybody had to have a wristband to get in. Masks, like 100% required and enforced. The security team at Bridal Extravaganza, they were not joking around. Like, I would go to get my drink of water and it was a real quick, or I was coming in with my tables and my mask was falling off and they're like, ma'am, can you please stop and put your mask back on? Like, no joke. And so I really think that before anyone comments or throws shade on something that they haven't been to, it was, to me, extremely safe. There was nobody in there complaining about wearing masks. The brides, the couples, the families, the bride tribes, all of them were wearing their masks. And yeah, the Bride Scan app made it so easy. Come scan it. We're talking. We're social distancing, and so I think that going forward, I mean, the show has to go on. We've been talking about that. So there are, and now I understand if you can't afford to go, you can't afford to go. People also have to understand we've already paid for these booths. These are booths that were paid for, last year. So the bridal extravaganza also, took a hit not being able to, do what they're normally used to doing. It was a mini bridal for us because normally there's twice as many vendors. Normally there's 3 to 4 times the amount of guests that come in. But we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, like what we loved, what we saw, what we're still like that blows our mind that people are still doing. But there is still a need for this. People are still planning their weddings. People need to have that human connection. And if you do it right, I mean, sanitation stations everywhere, additional sanitation station. Like this is just like to us, like throwing our events. It's the same thing for us, right? We're going to make sure that we're doing everything and following all the rules and regulations. And the whole staff at Bridal Extravaganza and the George R. Brown Convention Center did that. So thank you guys for putting on such an amazing show.
To be honest, yeah, I love the fact that it used to be so big, but I really did enjoy that it wasn't rushed. You know, when you go places and you talk to people, how you almost have to yell, like,
Yeah.
What's your name? Really nice to meet you. Because the DJ's too loud, or like there's people walking around, or like you feel like you're so muffled because there's just so much commotion going on. It wasn't like that. So you could have actual conversations with people. They asked really good questions. They were very engaging themselves. And sometimes any kind of show, you can go and you're like, are they really engaged? Are they really searching? But no, this was really a group of couples, ladies, whatever, that had come through that you can tell they were definitely searching, and they're very open right away. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. Help me with this. Help me with that. So it was a lot more one-on-one than previous bridals extravaganzas that I've been to. So bigger is not always better. Honestly, it was more intimate. What's my word? Intimate. It was more of a pop-up. It's more of a micro.
It was a micro bridal extravaganza.
But I really did enjoy it. Okay, let's get to, let's start off with, since we're like, woohoo, what was your favorite highlight of bridal extravaganza, do you think?
I liked that it was mini. I liked the size. I liked the setup. I liked the app. I think the app to me was just mind blowing. Like that from a venue owner, when we're normally used to taking stickers and then we have to go, like I normally go back to the hotel and I just input all of the leads. Like you didn't have to do that. They were able to do that from home. We scan, I have everyone's information, their wedding dates. I think that for me, just as a time saver, now I can just go in and really reach out to those couples that came out to our booth. So let's just say Bride Scan app was my favorite part, and meeting couples, because I love meeting people.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
What about you?
I honestly, the whole experience, because it wasn't stressful. And honestly, you took 90% of the load to do everything. So of course it wasn't very stressful for me. I just stepped in to do it. So it was really nice to just be able to step in and be a support instead of like stress that goes on in my head. The parking was super easy. Getting in was easy. The process that they had was easy. It wasn't major lines. And again, I think what you just said, the fact that it was more one-on-one, and it seemed like the brides that were there were very specific about what they were wanting. It wasn't sugarcoating. They weren't searching for things or budgets that, their expectations were like really high, and it's like, oh my God, you're not getting this. So yeah, I just think the whole overall thing, I think, was kind of a highlight for me. And of course, yes, we met some really cool people. So yeah, it was good. Okay, so what was a low light for you?
Okay.
And I'm not talking about the new low lights in your hair. I'm talking about like.
Thank you. I would say and again, this is real Uncut and Unleashed. I'm still really disappointed in families and couples that still are wanting to plan large events, that they don't care about the CDC regulations, that they think COVID is just going to go away. We don't know where we're going to be at the end of this year. We really don't know where we're going to be next year. And, couples were honest with me. They're like, you know what, we can't book at your venue because you're only taking 50% capacity. And I explained to them, you know, we've already learned our lesson last year. I don't think it's okay for anybody to take more money than they should. And I prefer you add in more people to your guest count than you being one of the couples who finds out, guess what? A, either you can't have your wedding, or B, you can't have the wedding of your size. And this whole time, you know, they've been telling you that you can. It goes back to education. You and I have been educating for, I mean, forever, but really, really educating for almost a year. So it just saddens me when I have these conversations, because it's not about them booking at my venue, right? It was never that. It's never like, oh, well, it's no matter where you book, you shouldn't be booking at a full guest count. Like at this point, no one should be asking for that. There's no reason for any vendor to be asking for a higher end guest count until closer to the wedding date. There's nothing like that any vendor can't do. You can add in more tables, you can add in more linens, you can add in more floral, you can add in more food, you can add in more alcohol, you can add everything in. I prefer to run my business like knowing that we never went to 75%. Let's just talk about that. I never went to 75% because look what happened. We're back down to 50% in Harris County. And when I hear couples are like, oh, you know what, that's fine, we'll go to Montgomery County because they're letting us do whatever we want. Again, I just feel bad for those couples, for those families who are giving money and not knowing if that can really happen. So I think that was my biggest disappointment, that there's still people out there thinking that. But again, I don't think it's their fault. I think it's just some people don't realize like this is going to keep on going. It's not going to stop. So I think that was my little late.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'll just say I completely agree. And what we've seen, experience, other planners that I've talked to, people that had gone to actual weddings or whatever, also the reality of more than likely, just like we saw in 2020, that guest count is not going to be what you think it's going to be, even though you're planning and going, oh no, there's 400 people that are for sure coming. Well, I hate to say, but as COVID does not go away, the pandemic is not going away, your guest count is not going to be as strong as you think it is, because people still are not traveling. They don't feel safe. And I think it's going to take a real long time for people to feel those things. And then even financially, the commitment, it is a strain and really a huge commitment for someone to be able to travel and come to your wedding. So that whole expectation. And here's the greatest thing. If you want to plan for 400, then go ahead and conceptually like plan 200, but get a venue that's going to facilitate. You can always go up. That's what I'm like. And I hope that, and I know that there's other planners out there that are educating their clients also to say, don't just dive into a 400 person wedding. Like think through, let's have stages, like by certain dates, by certain times we can add. And by all means, I mean, you have 2 months out to invite the guests that are coming. So you have the time that it takes to invite people. And hello, we've been doing this now for almost a year. This is not new news to your guests. If you can't open up the floodgates of heaven to all of your guests, they now know. It's not a surprise. So you're not hurting people's feelings. You know, Aunt Marcia isn't going to not talk to you for the rest of your life because you didn't invite her. More than likely, Aunt Marcia's going to go, God, thank God, because I didn't feel comfortable with going and I didn't know how to tell her. Yeah. So don't even worry about it. But I will say this is my one low light that was it was funny, but not funny. So in the middle of the entire extravaganza yesterday, when it's popping, I mean, it's like 1-ish, 1:30. It's like the main point of when everybody's, all of a sudden you hear very, very in the background, an alarm, and please evacuate the building. Please evacuate the building. And I was like, what? So we all went around asking the security, is that for real? And the first person goes, oh, I'm checking right now. And they goes, no, it's not for real. It's just a test. Don't worry about it. So then we all keep going. And I'm laughing because I'm like, everybody was just like, yeah, there's an alarm, but we're going to keep going on. It doesn't really matter. Then about, 3 to 5 minutes later, you keep hearing it. And then it was the loud system. This is not a test. We'd like you to evacuate to the nearest exit. So everybody scrambles. All the vendors were grabbing their bags and all their important stuff. And we sat outside for a good, 10 minutes, you think?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. In the cold, in the rain, hugged up against the concrete so that we all wouldn't get wet, hoping that we were able to go back in, but had no idea what was happening. So that was a low light because like, are you kidding me? What, like who pulled the fire alarm? But it was over and it was done.
So if you go to the bridal extravaganza Facebook or Instagram, you can see we were in the front. So we didn't have all this covered space. We had very limited covered space. By the way, Yvette and I thought we were doing the most amazing, coolest live from the George R. Brown. Our sound was off. So that was a blooper. We're going to add in the blooper reels. But in the back, the people that got escorted in the back, they were line dancing. A DJ was, I don't know how the DJ was still playing. And so they put it on their Instagram. I was laughing so hard. But yeah, I think that's like a funny light. Like that just, hey, shit that happens. It does. Welcome to life. If that didn't tell us anything, it's like, hey, welcome to 2021. So that was funny. But man, we were right when we came back in, it was like go, go, go. And then it was over. Yesterday went by so fast.
Yeah. But I think it's because the brides that were there, they were in there to like, no, we want information. We want to find vendors. So anyway, overall good. So happy.
Yay. So we will be back in July. So make sure if you didn't make it to this one, we'll be back in July. What's next? What's next on the itinerary?
Okay, next on the itinerary, moving right along. Okay. Okay. We jumped right into January. Next month is going to be February. So I want to say again that we are doing elopement. Just imagine in your brain, elopement all the way through the smaller, more intimate pop-up, micro, mini. Everyone keeps seeing mini monies these days. And I'm like, whatever. It's all the same, slightly different terms or whatever for the same concepts. I would like to invite anybody who would like to read more in depth what all that means and why all those terms are given and what in general the guest counts mean. I welcome you to go to the popupweddinghouston.com page. Or actually, no, it's Valdenegro Ventures, but you can find it on the
I'm actually going to just link them to the Just Engage University one because it links it to that. I'm going to put it in right here. I'm going to just do it for you.
Either one, it doesn't matter. But go and read I just wrote a little blog to help describe over the past 5 years since I've been doing this, what I've seen, and then I just kind of put them into categories. I'm not saying like it has to be this or I'm just saying in general, this is what I've seen. These are the terms that everybody's giving them. And so that you have a base to start with so that you as a couple, when you look at it, you can say, oh, this is where we kind of fall into. We like this feeling. And I give descriptions of everything that it means because moving forward, January 14th, Valentine's Day, Gio and I are doing elopements at Mia Bella Houston on Valentine's Day.
So elopements or pop-ups. I'm going to say we only have 2 spots left because a couple is coming to tour on Thursday for one of the spots.
Oh, sweet.
So you can either have an elopement or you can have a pop-up. You can pick whichever one you want, but we only have 2 spots left.
Okay. So there you have it. Yep. 2 spots left, February 14th. Then moving on to March 7th, which is the regular pop-up, and the April 25th, which is also another pop-up. And moving forward, we just over our break, because we really still were working, even though we weren't on here, came up with dates for the rest of the year that I'm going to put up on the website. And I just like to say, I want to make this work for any couple that's out there. So in the descriptions and the dates, just because you see that it says, oh, but you're doing this, it doesn't matter. Call me and let me know what your needs are. I will try to squeeze you in, fit you in, make it bigger, make it smaller, take it in, take it out, whatever it is, because we just want love to continue and we want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you want. And as always, I still welcome any other venues that want to partner. And I will be going to, I have clients that are.
What is that noise?
That's my train.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a phone. I was like, okay, sorry.
2021 train. And it's obviously full because when it makes that noise, it means it's heavy and full. Okay, anyway, I go to any venue, house, park, fun place. I had a really great conversation with a bride last week that she wants to do an elopement style wedding, but she wants something like an activity really, really fun. I about melted on the phone. I'm like, oh my God, yes. And yes, let's find you something really fun and more of it. And a lot of it's because they have kids in their family, but that's what I mean. Weddings are such a great expression of your family, who you are, what you want to do, and I'm here to help you put it all together in any way that I can.
Perfect. Okay, I just posted your blog, the guide, and the blog. So you just did that.
Wow.
Yes, dates are available. We're focusing on obviously Valentine's Day, but we still have March and April already on the books. And then we're gonna keep on going through the end of the year. And it's still needed. Like, people were asking at Bridal Extravaganza too. Like, we've heard about them. What is it? I gave them information. They're like, this is amazing. Some people are still trying to replan their wedding from last year, and they're like, we just don't even want to do a wedding. Like, they're like, yes. I remember seeing people going, oh, they have elopements, they have pop-ups. I'm like, we have it all. Like you said, whatever you need, just let us know. Between either Pop-Up Wedding Houston or Mia Bella Houston, whatever you want, we are making it happen. So yes. Okay, what else is on our itinerary?
Well, my little educational piece for the day is more like a reality check. Okay, so we heard this yesterday. I heard this during the break. I heard before Christmas started. I heard from my own clients. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, unfortunately, there are venues and vendors that are not being able to continue to open up the doors and continue to serve the Houston wedding industry. It sucks.
I know.
It really, really does. And some people are, established. That's reality. So moving forward, I want to encourage, whether you are already booked with someone and or you're looking to book with someone, keep that communication open with, client to vendor, vendor to client, as far as what's really going on, how you're really doing. Just be open and honest with them and let them know so that they can prepare in advance for their wedding. If you are looking to book someone, please do your homework.
Oh, yes.
Not to put a negative light on anything. I just think it's smart. It doesn't matter if you're in the wedding industry right now. If you're looking to buy a home, build with a builder. Make sure that builder's solid. I mean, just make sure they have good reviews. They've been working during COVID. They answer their phone. I think one of the biggest things I'm hearing right now, not answering a phone, not answering emails. And I do know that there's a grace period. Yes, give your vendor the grace that they just were on vacation and they were enjoying their family and the holidays. Absolutely. But if before that, since then, they haven't been communicating with you and they're not getting you the numbers that you need or the information that you need, that's a red flag. Because right now, if someone's really working in the industry, they have the time and the availability to be answering your questions, because obviously I'm assuming they do want to book. And so if someone isn't helping you on the forefront of you giving them a deposit, imagine what it could be like on the back end. So just be really careful. I think reviews are crucial right now. Referrals are crucial right now. Ask if you have people that in your friends groups that have gotten married before, ask them, who did you guys use? What were they like? And then go and research those people too.
Yeah, and I think, we've been talking in the last week and a half, actually, you and I, between both of us, have been talking to couples who lost their venues already. Again, I'm working with 2 clients that's happened to, and some of their vendors are not certified and insured. So it's going back to like every true wedding professional, and this is like a statement, this is a fact. Every true wedding professional in this industry will tell you, your vendors must be certified and insured. If you're not, shame on you by this time. If we haven't learned what happened last time, like, you have to. There's a reason why they are pulling insurance to cover themselves, to cover yourself, your guests, you as couples, and then as a venue. I mean, we have to have insured vendors. So yes, important. Do your homework. If you have a wedding planner and they're not certified and insured, guess what? Most of the people she's probably finding, she's not looking for certified and insured. It's a trickle down effect. If your venue is not asking for that, or they're not asking for you to pull day of insurance, I mean, that's, it just, you have to make sure that you're covered in all ways. We've had some comments. Hi, friends. Okay, Gaida, yes, she's laughing too about the fire alarm. Melanie is one of our preferred vendors, our florist with MK Events. She said that's a very good point about downsizing the events, and she was laughing about the aunt comment. Was it Aunt Margie? Aunt Marcy? And then, so yes, yeah. I mean, it's so like again, every vendor's going to be like, yeah, let's start with the booking. Let's start with our deposit. And then further down, you can let me know, no matter what vendor you are, do we need to, are we available to add in more guests? I'm sure every vendor is going to be happy to get more money later, but they'll know at least we're booked at the minimum. And depending on who you are and what time frame you need to know, most of our vendors at Mia Bella, we really don't need to know until 30 days before. Food and beverage, really 2 weeks before, because we can get all that stuff. So I think it's important that it's an educational thing. If someone's pressuring you or someone's telling you yes, that red flag already. Like, well, are you sure? And so again, not everybody watches us. Not everybody thinks like us, but I think we're a pretty big group now, especially in the Houston wedding industry, that we can safely say a true wedding professional will tell you a certification, being insured, like a real business. That's what differentiates Aunt Sally or my cousin Mark from, being a DJ to, and I talked to a bride yesterday. She's like, I didn't even think about that. She's like, I didn't even, like, the venue didn't tell me I was going to have my husband's best friend come DJ. And I said, no, like, you need to let your husband's best friend enjoy the party. And what if something happens and that's your husband's best friend, and now your husband's not going to have a best friend, And then I go, what, the venue didn't tell you that they, needed to, she's like, well, no, they haven't really said anything. And I'm like, okay, so there's like miscommunication, and people aren't being upfront and educating from the beginning. The last thing you want is, oh, well, same thing with budgets. I bought my venue for $20,000. I only have $4,000 left. Yesterday at the seminar that was talked about, it's like, yeah, you guys have to be realistic with your budget. So that's okay. Patience, friends, pay patience.
And understand what you're paying for. When you go in your head, if you go, yeah, I have $20,000 for my wedding. Oh, I'm $10,000 for my venue. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I have got $10,000 left to play with. Not knowing $10,000 just means they open up the doors for you. Sure, that may include tables and chairs and maybe even linens. But what else comes with that? So now you're going, well, I have this beautiful venue, but I have nothing that I can fill it up with. And then, you're wanting the fairy dust to fall out of the sky and go, okay, well, how can I make this all happen now for the 400 people that we were talking about earlier? Yeah. So just think things through. And again, and again, and again, 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 I'm saying over and over and over and over and over and over. I know I'm biased, but the number one person you need to get immediately to help you with all of your wedding process, plans, programming, whatever starts with the P, get a planner to help you walk you through all of these things and everything that Gio just said. Someone who's insured, someone who's done it through COVID, someone who has great reviews, someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Key.
Yeah. And there will be a blog coming soon for that, because we have learned in Clubhouse that this is also a very important topic. So blog coming soon. We're going to talk about it at Clubhouse as well. I think it's important too, because everyone thinks, oh, but I can't afford a wedding planner. You can't afford not to have a wedding planner. That's like not to have one. And y'all, you don't have to, your wedding planner doesn't get paid a $20,000 salary. It's like a consultation fee, a deposit for her day, and then there's a contract written up and touch points. Like, we're not going to be talking to you once a week. You're not going to be paying us once a week. There's a system, and that system does 3 things: saves you money, saves you time, and makes you not get murdered by your partner. So important, those 3 things, because if your partner's like, are we talking about this again? Like, I thought we already booked that. Like, what are we talking? The wedding's in like 90 days. This is real. This is why we have an ebook. Like, those are the 3 things that a wedding planner will do. And it's not, if it will not cost you an arm and a leg. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg if you don't have one, because we've seen it. I've met people, we met them this weekend. They're like down to the, oh, my wedding's in April and I'm like, what? I'm like, why? And they're like, and this is how much we have. I'm like, I can't even, like, we're ballers on a budget, but I'm like, hey, wedding fund, get on that wedding fund, honey fund, go right now. Stop right now what you're doing and go do that, because that's going to probably be the quick fix, but again, it's the stress, and it's like so.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun.
We are like your fairy godmothers. Wedding planners are the fairy godmothers. They make it all happen. It's seamless. You touch base with them every few months, and then you're done. They come and they're there at your wedding, and then you're done, and you're like, oh my God. number one thing on Bride to Bride. What would you wish you would have had? A day of coordinator, a wedding planner. Those are the things that come up. I should have listened. Or they didn't tell me, and my so-and-so friend did it, and then she was drunk before cocktail hour, and then I didn't get my pictures, or my cousin was the photographer, or my best friend told me so-and-so. I'm like, no. I mean, anyway, done. Rent done. Let's go next. Thank you, next.
Well, next is just that weddings are still happening. That's the next. It's still we saw it yesterday. Dates, people want it, and obviously it's in smaller numbers, but they're still happening, which is the great thing. Just be safe, think things through. Just use common sense when you're planning.
Yes.
Use common sense. Think of other people. It's still gonna happen. It's still gonna keep going forward. And as always, we're always here to answer anybody's questions. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. We're back. So I hope you enjoyed the 2-week break without us, because we're going to be here every single week. And of course, if there's a topic you want to hear about, let us know. For those of you guys who watch us and you're on Clubhouse, we'll be on tomorrow at Clubhouse. We're changing the time again for Ivan at 11 a.m. tomorrow Central, because we will be talking about virtual stream and why it's important, because I think it's the future of all events. So that's what we want to know. People want us to talk about what we've done, what's helped. We want to listen to other people that are doing things in the industry, because this is not just for couples. This is also for the wedding industry to thrive and survive in 2021 and all the rest of the years. So reach out to us anywhere, Just Engage University, Mia Bella Houston, Pop-Up Wedding Houston, wherever you want to talk to us, we're there. We're all connected. Don't forget to go get your free copy of the ebook, and we'll be back next week.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.